Thank you for letting us into your home tonight. I'd like to introduce the rest of the news team. Steve Lomangino.
Hello, mate.
And Brandon Ferris. Brandon? Brandon? Brandon!
Oh, no siento. Hola, mi amigos.
And finally, Kevin Becker.
We'll be going back to Brandon shortly, but first, me and Steven would like to share some stories from the day with you. First of all, let's talk about William Shakespeare, who I assume is known by all of our viewers as a famous playwright. Today, a large archive of documents tell us about Shakespeare's childhood years. The frequent mentioning of the town Stratford-upon-Avon lead us to believe that he had been born there. The archive also noted that Shakespeare attended school in the same town. He was enrolled in the local grammar school, where his main objective, given from his parents, was to be able to learn, speak, and read and write in Latin. Other records show that Shakespeare's home was located on the countryside of Stratford. On this side of town, William and his siblings, he had 7 of them, had to plow, sow, and harvest crops. Though the rough farm life, Shakespeare's family was able to earn a lot of money. Buying records show that many things that were bought were for leisure and fun. Experts believing most of these items were passed down to William, him being the oldest child. Not only was he pampered because he was firstborn, but also because he is a male. His parents were proud and excited to have a son that could take care of the family name when they passed away. Stephen?
Thanks, Kev. We have some very exciting news on your favorite celebrities, including Galileo, King Henry VIII, and some very famous musicians. First off, we have Galileo, an Italian philosopher and scientist who has just made a remarkable find. We have a treat for you guys at home today, as we have Galileo himself in our studio. And I'll be interviewing him shortly. But now, we have stories of a few musicians in King Henry VIII. First off, I'm happy to report that King Henry has led us through a victorious campaign in France, so we all have something to cheer about. Now with musicians, Gioso Zarlino has just founded the cadence and triad system. Gilo Came Dufay has developed the chanson style, and William Byrd has some brilliant new songs. And now we go to our reporter Brandon Ferris, who's outside the Globe Theater. Brando?
Huh?
You're on.
Hola. Hello. I'm here outside the Globe Theater, and it is 1613, a couple months after the disaster struck, when a performance of Henry VIII was going on, and then the stage cannon shot off, and a spark flew off the stage cannon and lit the thatched roof on fire. Now they are working on construction here, and they were planning to build a new Globe Theater. It's supposed to be better, more improved, and many of Shakespeare's plays are still going to be performed here. It's going to be great theater. After we take a short break, we'll go back to Steve-O in the studio.
Are your chairs too slippery?
Mom!
What, Kevin?
You need a new chair.
Bing!
Wow, I didn't slip off.
All right. Galileo, it's great to have you here in the studio.
Thanks for having me.
So I see you've brought your own version of the telescope.
Yes, I have.
So what makes this version different from the original version?
Well, you see, it zooms in 4 times more than the original. So you can see a lot of amazing things in the universe.
What types of things can you find in the universe?
Well, I've recently discovered that the moon is not as it appears. It's actually full of uneven craters. I've also discovered that Jupiter has 4 moons. Who knew?
Interesting. Well, thanks for coming in, Galileo.
My pleasure. And now we go back to Brandon for another story on Mary, Queen of Scots.
It is now February 7th, 1587, and we are here at the execution, the spot of execution of Mary, Queen of Scots. As you can see, she's waiting right there, waiting to be executed. Well, Mary, Queen of Scots had a tragic life. When she was only 8 days old, her father passed away. And then, on February 1st, 1587, she had no idea that she was sentenced to execution. She had her friend Elizabeth sign the death papers for Mary, Queen of Scots. Then, today, it's time for her death. And also, before today, just last night, Mary, Queen of Scots wrote a letter to the king, and that letter expressed the true person she was. But the death papers were already signed, and it's time for Mary, Queen of Scots to go.
We're almost out of time, but here's Kevin with the latest on Shakespeare.
Thanks, Stefano. What's that? Got it. This just in. Another large archive was found, full of Shakespeare documents, this archive being of his recent years. Court files and lists have been found. A court file was found stating that Shakespeare was sued for £7 British by John Clayton on grounds of Shakespeare owing him. Another court file that was retrieved documented that Shakespeare had sued a Philip Rogers for damages to his property. The exact damages are unclear. Shakespeare had also shown up on the list of hoarders from February 1598 for stashing away corn while there was a shortage in Stratford. Another list notes Shakespeare for failing to pay a bill on an unspecified date later in October 1598. And that's all we have time for. Remember, you heard it first on ABC. From all of us, good night, Long Island.
Welcome back, mates. I'm here with Galileo. So Galileo, it's great to have you on the show. Welcome back, mates. So Galileo, it's great to have you on the show.
What?
I see you brought your own version of the telescope.
Yep.
So what makes this version? So I see you brought your own version.
Come on.
So Galileo, what are you doing? Welcome back, mates. We have welcome back, mates.